night in jail, the defendants, 13 in all, were brought before Judge Callahan and given suspended sentences for the manufacturing of fireworks without a permit.
Yeah, they kept me in the same cell as a stripteaser for a burlesque show.
I was in the same cell as Mr. Kirby. He is mad.
Mrs. Kirby and the stripteaser were fighting all night.
There's a lot about Mr. Kirby here. Anthony W. Kirby, head of Kirby & Co., 62 Wall Street, was among those apprehended, but refused to state why he was at the premises at the time of the raid. Mr. Kirby is a member of the Union Club, the Racket Club, the Harvard Club, and the National Geographic Society. He certainly is a joiner.
All those men are elks or something.
I suppose, after all of this, Miss Alice is never going to marry Mr. Tony.
No, sir. And it sure is a shame, too. Miss Alice sure loves that boy.
Is it just me, or are rich folks always running around and getting themselves into trouble?
Yes, sir. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with all that food out there in the kitchen. There's going to be a party tonight, that's for sure.
Are we going to eat it anyway?
Well, I'm cooking it. I don't think anybody's going to have an appetite.
Well, I'm hungry.
They aren't. We also broke up about Miss Alice.
Where does she go away for? Where is she going?
Mountains, someplace. She's going, all right. I know Miss Alice when she gets that look in her eye.
It's too bad, isn't it?
Sure is.
Not even a balloon left. Look.
How's your hand, Mr. DePinna? Is it better?
It's better. Is there any more olive oil out there?
It's in the salad bowl.
Thanks.
Well, she's going, and nothing anybody said could change her.
But she isn't going to stay away long. Is she, Miss Sycamore?
I don't know, Reba. She won't say.
Well, it's sure going to be lonesome around here without her.
How are you feeling, Sycamore?
Oh, I'm all right, Donald. Just kind of upset. Maybe if I do some work, I'll feel better.
Well, then it won't bother you, Sycamore.
She's going, Penny.
Yes.
Oh, no, Penny. Oh,
I can't help it, Paul. Somehow I feel it's all our fault.
Well, it's mine more than yours. I've been going along enjoying myself, and maybe I should have been thinking more about Alice.
Don't say that, Paul. You've been a wonderful father and husband, too.
Oh, I haven't. Maybe if I had gone on and become an architect, I don't know. Something Alice could have been proud of. I saw that last night, looking at Mr. Kirby.
Well, we've been so happy, Paul.
I know. But maybe that's not enough. I used to think so, but all kind of mixed up now.
What time is she going?
7:30.
Maybe she'll talk to Tony. I know he could persuade her.
No, it won't help, Penny.
Where is he now?
It'll probably take me another walk around the block again, but any hour it won't help.
Maybe he can catch her as she's
No,
leaving.
she won't listen to him, Penny.
No, I don't suppose so. I feel so sorry for Tony, too. Well, Grandpa?
Come now, Penny.
Well, Grandpa.
Suppose she goes to the Adirondacks. She'll be back. You can only take so much Adirondacks, and then you go home.
Grandpa, it's just all so terrible.
But it has its bright side.
How do you mean?
Well, Mr. Kirby getting into the patrol wagon, for one thing, and his face when he had to take a bath with Donald. I don't think I'll forget that if I live to be 100. I intend to. I warn you people. I intend to. If I have things like that going on around.
Oh, it was even worse with Mrs. Kirby. When the matron stripped her, there was this burlesque dancer there, and she kept singing a strip song as Mrs. Kirby undressed.
I'll bet you Bar Harbor seems pretty dull to the Kirbys this summer. Can I help you, Alice?
No thanks, Grandpa. I'm just going to pass these.
Alice,
You know that, but I just need to get away for a while. I'll be all right. Father, did you phone for a cab?
No, I didn't think you wanted one.
Oh, I told Mr. DePinna to tell you. Didn't he tell you?
Oh, he told me. But I forgot.
Oh, I wish I lived in a family that didn't just forget everything. That behaves the way other people's families do. I'm sick of cornflakes and Donald and everything. Why can't we be like other people's family? Roast beef and 2 green vegetables and doilies on the table and a place you can bring your friends to without. I'll see if I can do anything.
Oh, Tony, talk to her. She's in the kitchen.
Thanks. Alice, won't you listen to me? Please.
Tony, it's no use.
Alice, you're not being fair. At least let me talk to
Tony,
you.
no. Where'd they go?
Upstairs.
She walked right out the minute he came in.
The olive oil ran out of my hand. This one kind of fishy.
How are you, Mr. DePinna? Hand still hurting you?
It's better.
So everything burned up downstairs?
Everything. And my Roman costume.
I told you there was a bright side, Penny. I'll accept my 23 years back income tax. Get another letter every day.
What are you going to do about that, Grandpa?
Well, I had a sort of idea yesterday. I don't think it'll work, but I'm willing to try it anyhow.
Well, what is it?
Well,
Good evening, everybody.
hello, Kolenkov.
Forgive me. Door was open.
Come on in.
I hope you will forgive me coming this evening.
It's
I realize you are upset.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Kolenkov.
I don't think I can take a lesson today, Mr. Bolenkoff. I don't feel up to it.
Well,
Oh, do stay to dinner, Mr. Kolenkov. We've got all that food in there, and somebody's got to eat it.
thank you. I will be happy to.
Fine.
Now, I hope that I know you all well enough to ask of you a great favor.
Of course, Mr. Kolenkov. What is it?
You have heard me talk about my friend, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
Yes.
She was a cousin of the Tsar, and now she is a waitress at Giles Restaurant, Times Square.
If there's anything at all we can do, Mr. Kolenkov.
I tell you, the Grand Duchess has not had a good meal since before the Revolution.
She must be hungry.
And today is not only her day off, Thursday, but it is also the anniversary of Peter the Great, a remarkable man.
Why, Mr. Kolenkov, if you mean to have the Grand Duchess here to dinner, why, we'd be honored.
Oh, yes!
In the name of the Grand Duchess, I thank you.
Oh, it's so exciting. Oh, where is she now?
She is out in the street waiting. I go bring her in.
Oh, Ed, fix your bow tie. I see your dress. Do I look all right?
If this keeps on, I want to be 150.
The Grand Duchess, Olga Katerina! Your Highness, if you will, please allow me to present Madam Sycamore, Madam Carmichael, Grandpa,
Madam.
Mr. Sycamore, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. Dickey.
All right now, Mr. DePinna.
Will you be seated, Your Highness?
Thank you. You are most kind.
We are most honored to receive you.
I am most happy to be here. How soon is dinner?
Oh, very soon, Your Highness. Quite soon.
I don't mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I am substituting for another waitress.
I will make sure you are done, Your Highness.
Thank you, Kolenkov.
You know, Highness, I think you waited on me in Child's once. The 72nd Street place?
No, that was my sister.
Grand Duchess Natasha.
I work in Times Square.
Really?
Quite a few of your folks over here now, aren't there?
Oh yes, many. My uncle, the Grand Duke, Sergei, he is an elevator man at Macy's. A very nice man. Then there is my cousin, Prince Alexis. He will not speak to the rest of us because he works at Hattie Carnegie. He is in ladies' underwear.
When he was selling hot dogs at Coney Island, he was feeling the duck deal.
Kolikov, our time is coming. My sister is studying to be a manicurist. Uncle Sergei, they have promised to make floor walk. And next month, I get transferred to the 5th Avenue Childs. From there, it is only a step to Schrapp's, and then we will see what Prince Alexis says.
I think you've got it.
You're telling me.
Did you know the Tsar, personally, I mean?
Of course, he was my cousin. It was terrible what happened, but perhaps it was for the best. Where could he get a job now?
Pravda. That is true.
And poor relations are poor relations. It is the same in every family. My cousin, King of Sweden, was very nice to us for about 10 years. Every once in a while, he would send us a money order. But then he said, I just cannot go on. I am not doing so well myself. I do not blame him.
Oh, of course not. Will you excuse me, please?
Highness, is it true what they say about Rasputin?
Everyone wants to know about Rasputin. Yes, my dear sir, it is true. And how?
You don't say.
Your Highness, we have to watch the time.
Oh yes, I must not be late. The manager does not like me. He is a communist.
Well, we'll hurry things up a little bit. Essie, will people in the kitchen and see if Reba needs any help?
Oh, I will help too. I'm a very good cook.
But Your Highness, not on your day off.
I do not mind. Where is your kitchen?
Right over here. But you're the guest of honor, Your Highness.
But I love to cook. Come, Kolenkov, if they have got pot cheese and sour cream, I will make you some blitzes.
How princess! Come, Pavlova, let me show you something.
I'll say the Duchess is something, isn't she? Hey, Duchess, can I help?
She got a nice face for a mask, hasn't she?
She's a very nice woman, considering she's a Grand Duchess.
Wonderful, what some people go through, isn't it? And still keep kind of cheerful.
Yes, she made me forget about everything. For a moment.
Well, I suppose I should go cover that cab.
No, wait, Paul, here they are. Maybe Tony has...
Ed, will you go up and bring my bags down?
Don't you do it, Ed.
Ed, please.
All right, Ed, bring it down. Do you know that you have the stubbornest daughter in all 48 states?
Well, that must be the cab.
If it is, it's certainly wonderful service.
Is Tony here, Alice?
Yes, he is, Mr. Kirby. Yeah. Come in.
How do you do?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Forgive my intruding. Tony, I want you to come home with me immediately. Your mother is very upset.
Very well, Father. Goodbye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
I need hardly say that. This is as hard for Mrs. Kirby and myself as it is for you people. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Yes, and in a way, no. Now, I'm not the type of person who tries to run other people's lives, but frankly, Mr. Kirby, I don't think these two young people have got as much sense as you or I have.
Grandpa, will you please not do this?
I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby, Alice. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
Oh, you want me to do that for you, Alice?
No thanks.
You have quite a while before the train comes, Alice.
Will you send a cab up to 761 Claremont right away, please? That's right. Thank you.
Alice,
Father.
Are you ready, Tony?
Mr. Kirby, I suppose after last night you think this family's kind of crazy.
No, I wouldn't say that. Although I'm not accustomed to going out to dinner and then spending the night in jail.
Well, you must remember, Mr. Kirby, you came on the wrong night. Now, tonight, I'm sure nothing will happen at all. Probably.
Yes, but Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not merely last night that convinced Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement would be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
No, Tony. I know exactly what your father's saying, and he's right.
No, he's not, Alice.
Now, Alice, you love this boy, and you're not marrying him for the type of people we are.
Grandpa.
I know. You think the two families wouldn't get along. Or maybe they wouldn't. But who's to say they're right and we're wrong?
I didn't say that, Grandpa. I only feel
What
that...
I feel, Alice, is that Tony's too nice a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Yes, mixed up and unhappy. Like you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff. I'm a very happy man.
Are you?
Certainly I am.
I don't think so. Where do you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No, sir. You get it from doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Yes, you do. Just last night, you said after a week in Wall Street, you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on?
Why do I keep on? Why, that's my business. And a man can never give up his business.
Why not? You've got all the money you need, and you can't take it with you.
That's a very easy thing to say, Mr. Vanderhoff. But I've spent my entire life building up my business.
And what's it got you? Same business meetings, mail in the morning, meals, same indigestion. Where's the fun come in, Mr. Kirby? Don't you think there ought to be something more? You must have wanted more when you started out. We don't have too much time, you know, any of us.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Live the way you do and do nothing all day?
Well, I have a lot of fun. Time enough for everything. Read, talk, visit the zoo every now and then, practice my darts, even get time to see when spring rolls around. Don't have to spend my time with people I don't like, and most importantly, don't have to spend 6 hours of doing things I don't like before I can get one of what I do like. And I haven't taken a bicarbonate of soda in over 35 years. What's the matter with that?
The matter with that? Suppose we all did that, Mr. Vanderhoff. Oh, what a fine world we'd have, everyone just running off to the zoos. Don't be ridiculous, you do all the work.
There are always people that like to work. You can't stop them. Inventions and they fly in the oceans. There are always people to go down to Wall Street, too, because they like it. But from what I've seen of you, Mr. Kirby, I don't think you're one of them. I think you're missing something.
Not aware of missing anything.
I wasn't either, till I quit. Used to get down to that office, 9 o'clock sharp, no matter how I felt. Lay awake nights for fear I wouldn't get that contract. I would worry about the world, too. Got all worked up about whether Cleveland or Blaine was going to win the election. Seemed awful important at the time. But who cares? My point is, Mr. Kirby, I've had 35 good years that nobody can take away from me, no matter what they do to the world. See?
Yes. I do see. And it's a very dangerous philosophy, Mr. Vanderhoff. Not only that, it's un-American, and it is exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I want Tony to come under his influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
The matter with it? Why, it's downright communism, that's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
I most certainly did. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so, because there was a time when you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Why, Tony, don't be an idiot.
Oh, yes, you did. I saw those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No! How dare you read those letters? How dare you?
Why, isn't that wonderful? Did you wear tights, Mr. Kirby?
Certainly not. The whole thing is absurd. I was 14 at the time.
Yes, but at 18 you wanted to be a saxophone player.
Tony?
And at 21, you ran away from home because grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well, well, well.
Now, I may have had my silly notions, my youth, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I went into the business and forgot about it.
Not altogether, Father. There's still a saxophone in the back of your clothes closet.
There is.
Enough, Tony. We'll discuss this later.
No! I want to talk about it now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm never going back to that office. I've always hated it, and I'm not going on with it. And I'll tell you something else. I didn't make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night, and I brought you here on purpose.
Tony!
Because I wanted to wake you up. I wanted you to see a real family, as they really were. A family that loves and understands each other. You don't understand me, you've never had the time. And I'm not making your mistake. I'm clearing out.
Clearing out? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to be pushed into the business because I'm your son. I'm getting out while there's still time.
But Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know, maybe I'll be a bricklayer. But at least I'll be doing something I want to do.
That must be the cab.
Ed, tell him to wait a minute.
Grandpa!
Now, Alice. Mr. Kirby, Tony is going through just what you and I did when we were his age. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the exact same things to your father 25 years ago. We all did it, and we were right. How many of us would be willing to settle when we're young for what we eventually get? All those plans we make. What happens to them? It's only a handful of the lucky ones that can say they even came close. So, Mr. Kirby, before they clean out that closet, I think I'd get a good couple of hours in on the saxophone.
Pardon me, but before I make the blitzes, how many will be there for dinner?
Your Highness, may I present Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
How is that?
How do you do? Before I make the blitzes, how many will be there for dinner?
Oh, you can never tell, Your Highness. I'd make quite a stack of them.
Good. The Tsar always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the blitzes.
Pardon me, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who did you say that was?
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner.
Oh, of course.
And on the subject of dinner, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Oh, please do, Mr. Kirby. We've got all that food in there that we were supposed to eat last night. I mean tonight.
It's looking like a pretty good meal, Mr. Kirby, and kind of give us a chance to get to know each other. What do you say?
How about it, Father? Are we staying for dinner?
Well, if you'd care to, Tony, I'd like to very much.
Now, if Alice would send away that cab, Mr. Vanderhoff?
Now, Alice, looks like a pretty nice crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay?
I'm staying, Alice. Families ought to get to know each other a little bit, don't you think?
Mr. Kirby, Tony, Tony.
Darling.
Grandpa, you're wonderful.
I've been saying that for years.
There's a letter that came for you, Grandpa. It was in the icebox.
The government again.
What do you do, Mr. Kirby?
How do you do?
Won't you step into the office, Miss Sigmore? I'd like to do a little dictating.
I don't have my glasses,
I'm
Penny.
gonna tell that cab.
But, it looks as if the, government apologizes and I don't owe them a nickel. Appears I died 8 years ago.
What do you mean, Grandpa?
Well, do you remember Charlie the Milkman, buried under my name?
Oh, yes.
Well, I just told them they'd made a mistake. I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr., And now they're very sorry, and I might even get a refund.
Why, Grandpa, you're an old crook.
Sure.
Pardon me, Mr. Vanderhoff. How did you say you escaped income tax?
Tonight, my friends, we are going to eat.
Hello there.
How do you do?
Fantastic. Glad to see you.
What has happened?
He's relaxing. That's right, Ed. Play something.
Everything will be ready in a minute. You can sit down now. Oh, come on, everybody, dinner. Oh, Mr. Kirby, come to dinner.
Yes, I'm coming.
Esty, stop dancing and come to dinner.
So will like Russian food, Mr. Kirby.
Oh, but you must be careful of your indigestion.
Oh, nonsense. I haven't any indigestion.
How was your trip to the Adirondacks?
Shut your face, Mr. Kirby.
Quiet, everybody. Well, sir, here we are again. We want to thank you once more for everything you've done for us. Things seem to be going along fine. Alice is going to marry Tony, and it looks as if they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that was Mr. DePinner's fault, not yours. We've all got our health, and as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you.
Grandma, I have my friend in Russia. He has escaped.